Hey, this is Faith Harview, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Chapter 7, the section Securing Research Assistance. At the beginning of Chapter 7, the author talks about the issue of time and how there is such a demand for time for teachers when it comes to research. The author explains that if devoting time to data collection means taking time that could have been invested in other learning activities, the cost is greater than most dedicated teachers are willing to make. What the author also explains is how research is actually part of teaching, and that's an important thing for us to understand. Professors and other research scientists deal with these limitations by hiring a research assistant, also known as an RA. In grant-supported research, the person in charge is called the principal investigator, also known as the PI. RAs are typically motivated graduate students who want to work alongside the PI. So when we think about research assistants and principal investigators, where do we stand, the poorly paid and overworked educator involved in the conduct of unfunded research, which is a quote from this chapter? Well, the author explains that teachers are facilitators of learning and students are knowledge workers. This means that by making our students the primary collectors of data, our research assistants, we are setting ourselves up for a win-win situation. But how can our students be research assistants? Well, if we have students monitor their own work, then this also helps them develop metacognitive abilities, meaning that students are checking on themselves versus taking time from the teacher. They're able to check on themselves and helps them not only learn, but also helps us analyze our research. So if we're using our students as our RAs, then this shouldn't be a problem, right? Well, that doesn't take all the responsibility off us. Using your students as RAs does not eliminate all that research responsibility. As I mentioned earlier with grant-supported research, they use RAs, but the RAs on staff do not eliminate the participation of the principal investigator. What a principal investigator, or in our case, the teacher, would do is they would need to flesh out the theory, and this is something that we did in chapters 4 and 5, and then they would also need to determine research questions, which is what we did in chapter 6. After you've determined your plan and what data you think will be collected, then it's important to think about the who, the when, and the how. Who's going to collect these items? When are they going to be collected? And how will they be analyzed? When it comes to the who, when, and how, we need to think about some strategies in order to help us achieve this. So we need to use, understand, and maximize. Use available data. Use what you already have, and having students be your RAs is going to help you do that. Understand that the data can be collected while you are learning, while you are facilitating and learning. So for instance, when you do your formative assessments or even just a thumbs up, thumbs down, that is going to help you understand the data and collect it. Maximize the value for students monitoring their own performance. And this is something we talked about earlier. When we have students monitor their own performance, it's also helping them build their metacognitive abilities. So for our discussion questions today, my first question is, Chapter 7 mentions that teachers are facilitators of learning and students are knowledge workers. What negative and positive results could come from using students as research assistants? Question number 2 is, the struggle for time that teachers face is mentioned throughout the first 7 chapters of our text. For your action research project, how are you dealing with the issue of time? What are your experiences you have had and the lessons you have learned? Thank you for listening to my facilitation today on securing research assistance, and I cannot wait to read your discussion posts.